Or actually, well, okay. Somebody brought it to my attention. I brought it to Ashley's attention.
So we looked at it.
The colors of the Super Bowl. Okay, you guys, go back and look at the colors. Okay, we were wondering, why was Snoop Dogg wearing that strange kind of blue and yellow? Okay, that's not as usual. As far as
he was the only one wearing something vibrant too.
Yeah, he was wearing that crazy colors, those colors. Okay, the exact blue and yellow of the Ukraine flag. And the winning team was also had those colors.
Those were their colors, yeah.
Okay, a couple of things. And those colors were sprinkled all throughout the Super Bowl. And somebody pointed it out to me in an email.
Yeah.
Okay, sure enough, that was the case. Okay, they know everything ahead of time. Okay, that says a few things. It says they knew who was going to win because the winning team had those colors. Okay, so they pre-planned the winner. So all of it's fake. It's all a movie, you guys. Snoop Dogg was probably made to wear that because we got that he'd come over to the good side and was working with the good guys, not to say he hadn't been on the bad cult side and probably done some bad things. And of course that came out just before the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the things he's been up to. So that was interesting. It might have been part of the deal too, that it has to come out just before the Super Bowl. Could have been part of the deal where, okay, you're getting outed though, buddy. Okay. And, so the good guys must have been in charge of the Super Bowl. Okay. Because what's happening in the Ukraine is a cleanup. Okay?
Oh yeah.
It's a cleanup. And, Russia's cleaning up, some kind of lab situation that's going on, and look it up. So we want to look at something really interesting that Ashley and I were both thinking about a lot. How should we phrase it?
I want to say the power and magic of our emotions.
The power and magic of our emotions. Yeah.
We've all been experiencing huge shifting energy for months, if not years, depending on how spiritual you are, how awake you've been to all these transitions. And especially the last few weeks, and February was very intense for a lot of humans, a lot of us here on Beth. So we got into this topic the last couple of days about how intense emotions are and how this weekend is going to be quite intense and how all the information we're getting is quite intense and how we react to this information. Yeah. And I just want to kind of deep dive into how important our emotions play on the earth plane.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Just all you have to do is watch if you want to see, watch someone who's recently been diagnosed with a big disease of some kind. And they're told they have X amount of time. Usually, and I saw this firsthand with a family member, they plummet. As soon as you get that kind of literal, well, how much time do I have potentially? 6 months. Okay. They're emotionally, that plummets their energy. And guess what? They get sick right away. All of a sudden it gets a lot worse. Okay. Yeah. If they stayed in that feeling, okay, and didn't work their way out and choose to think differently about things, okay, they could leave that soon. This particular family member decided to work on their emotional response to that. And it was a lot of hard work. And they chose to feel otherwise and chose to live every day what they had left one day at a time. And that lasted about 1.5 years, by the way. And that we've heard stories like that. Yeah. As soon as you're told something and that emotionally gut punches. Okay. And this is why you have to be so careful not to take the word of somebody who's supposed to be a professional. We now see what the medical system is actually been up to. They're actually in cahoots with the deep state dark cult. Right. Not all medical people, but the higher ups and people in really powerful positions in the medical industry are actually in on what's going on. Literally taking out, culling the human race. Okay, so that tells you why would you listen to the word of people like that? I am very leery. I don't even think it should be a policy to never give a time frame on, you're going to be leaving. And, there's other ways you could get around that.
There's definitely other ways you can get around saying something like that.
Even as a card reader, I've seen things in cards, but there's ways that you can work around it and say it in a different way that's more empowering.
And how doing your work on this earth plane can do huge wonders for somebody's lifetime if you choose to the decision to be grumpy and be miserable. It's going to take you down if you choose a decision to think of the world differently, think of humans differently, and react differently. It can go the complete opposite way. It all depends on how we react to it.
Yeah. A prime example of utilizing humans' emotions in a negative way has been in the last 2 years. So the mainstream media has been paid off. I think they've always been paid off, and they're just minions anyway. But in particular, we've noticed it in the last 2 years where they're literally just minions of the deep state and paid off. And they're literally gut punching daily. This is what they were doing, fear mongering, complete lies, like literal lies that they're all going to be held accountable for real soon here.
Oh, good.
It is not going to be pretty, you guys. I saw a video of a fellow who, called somebody over, pretended that they were a fan. It was I think it was a senator, or was it somebody in the U.S. What are those guys? I think they're senators.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was somebody's local senator, and they called them over and pretended they wanted a photo op with it, went as if they were going to put their arm around. It was this big burly guy too that was approaching this senator. Then as soon as he got him close and they had somebody with a camera filming the whole thing, he started telling him what he really thought about him. And he called him deep state, and he called him all kinds of, like, he was telling truth. My warrior self, like, yes, I'm a light worker. Yeah. You know what, when I need to be, but I'm also a human warrior. Like, I'm on the earth plane, and this is a situation we're in that we need to be our most fierce self sometimes. Okay, so we can't always be all nicey nice. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta take action.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean we have to be sad, blue, or like we have to work on emotionally what will allow, people to do to us. Because when we choose to move out of the kind of things that the mainstream media, so they've been pumping fear. So fear is an emotion.
Yes.
And it's very detrimental to people's health.
Very much.
Right? My parents are in such fear. It's actually a miracle they lived through the last 2 years. Okay, they watch mainstream media 24/7, it seems.
Attached to the boob, too.
As soon as they get up, they turn it on really loud. And they're watching it all day. And I'm telling you, it's not doing them any favors. You know what I mean? And and they're starting, and while they're behaving badly. They're actually, all of their, they're supposed to be good Christian people, like Catholics, really strong Catholics, supposedly. It's like faith just goes out the window. It's like, where did faith go? Like, you have no faith in your human body. You have no faith in the human race, like not questioning any of this fear mongering. It's the weirdest thing. So the cabal, I guess I can't say cabal. So the deep state dark cult, they knew this about humans. They know our weakness. So it's maybe our strength. Emotions are our strength. We can actually call things by feeling as if we already have them. That's a really powerful manifestation tool. But it's also our weakness, because if you can get somebody fearful of even their own shadow, their own children, somebody who doesn't have a mask on, somebody who hasn't been, you know what I mean? All of a sudden they're your enemy and you fear them. Okay, when you can get people, just regular folks, to feel like that, okay, all the vibration goes down and all of their critical thinking goes out the window.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like you got a zombie race, literally just bending over.
Yeah.
Okay, and then thank goodness a portion of us didn't do that, and a portion of us didn't buy into those gut punches. And we're going to really need to consider, how do I really want to feel about this, right? And remember, you trust yourself and trust the universe.
Right?
Yeah.
Sitting in those emotions, the ones they'd like to play with. So they've got to have a little bit more clout than we give them credit.
Yeah.
When I'm starting to think.
Super powerful. Yeah. Yeah. So what do you think some questions around our powerful feelings? I mean, we're coming up to this next couple of days.
And especially with all these information drops, what happens is everybody gets really amped up. And then when, quote unquote, nothing happens huge, everybody gets really drained. But this weekend is supposed to be quite large, quite significant. And I can feel it. I can feel something. Yeah. Right? In my energetic body this morning, I woke up and I was like, something's going to be different. Yeah. So, do we want to see what we can expect emotionally this weekend first? Okay. Yeah. Just kind of see See what the cards are going to tell us?
Yeah, because when I played around with the cards this morning, I did get, so apparently a big shift's going to happen. And what they're saying is the human race, it's like the world card, right? So the world card is you get to a plateau and you're right between the past and the next, big thing that happens in our lives, right? Or it could be lifetimes. Right. Okay. So you say goodbye to this. So you're right at that threshold of nothing from back here will ever be the same again going forward. Okay. So we're apparently at that threshold. This weekend is that threshold. Friday, actually, apparently the 11th. Okay. Right. So doesn't mean everybody's going to feel it the same way.
No.
But we'll never be the same again going forward. Of course, every single day you could say that was true, but this is fairly dramatic, supposedly. So let's have a look. And it's emotional is what I was picking up. Okay, so it looks, with that judgment in the middle, wake up. Right?
Super wake up.
It's always a wake up call. That's the way I see it. If you look closely, the guy's got a trumpet. Interesting, right? And he's waking up the dead. Okay, so that sounds like even the sleepers, the walking zombies, who seem to not even notice what's going on. Okay, they're going on some level. They can't ignore this. This energy shift is they're not going to be able to just carry on oblivious here.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be really shocking and really not so fun for them to hear, for sure.
And about something that's happened in the past. So something about our human past, human history, or what's been going on that's been hurtful to humans.
Yep.
Could even have something to do with little humans, 12 and unders, with that sun. Just some kind of something sinks in.
Yeah, something really big.
And about how we've been lied to, too. So there just seems like a level of knowing here. So it's not necessarily a positive feeling, okay? So we're going to have to really be careful about how we're going to need detachment and see the big picture here. Because it could feel like, you could feel like you're not doing that good.
Right. Very overwhelmed.
Yeah, overwhelmed, exactly, with that judgment. So just forewarning you. Right. You might want to put in place a few things that some pick-me-ups that you normally would do.
Yeah.
When you're feeling like that. And also remember not to take it personally if you do have a real dip.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it looks like everybody's going to have a big sort of a awe moment where the veil comes off somehow. And we just know in our deep hearts, even if it's spiritually and not literally.
Right.
Okay. Because I'm not necessarily getting it's literal here. It's just a knowing. It's like we just can't avoid knowing what's been done to us on some level.
It's going to be too blatant. It's really going to be interfaces, right? Super interfaces.
And or just in our hearts even too.
Yeah.
Like we're just going to know one way or the other. We're going to know some things and they're not that fun.
No.
Yeah, with that card. And then going forward, we're also going to have an awareness of the level of lies. Now, a lot of us, so we're ahead of the game watching videos like this because we've already been through this. Okay. I feel like this is more for the sleepers.
Right.
Right. I do. I feel like we already are ready. We're like, I think we'll do good in this. I think this is you're going to watch your friends, relatives, neighbors who aren't as aware as you are. You're going to watch them maybe have a really rough weekend.
Right.
And they can't do this anymore.
No.
Right. They can't do that anymore. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So we've got also an awareness of the lack of freedom.
That's for sure.
And this is the thing that I've had such a hard time with. It's like they can't see that they thought they were in a free country and how not free it is. I mean, it's been so rubbed in our face.
The last little bit.
Yeah, the whole movie has just been rubbing it in our face. Right?
Everybody's thought they've had their own rights and independence, and clearly we've all discovered that that's not actually a thing.
No.
And we've been letting our governments get away with way more.
And they're just taking and taking and taking, and I feel like a wall gets hit. So we could see some rising up in the coming weeks because of that too, where a lot more people wake up, and the kind of things that were happening during the truckers convoy. I think we might see, and that there are a lot of things like that going on, but you might find even in your little hometown or whatever, the city you live in, the rallies get a lot bigger.
Oh, yeah, which would be great.
Yeah. So this is like a world consciousness awakening here on a deeper level of the depravity that's been going on. This is what I'm getting. So the emotion isn't going to be joy per se. It's going to be hurt, gut punch.
Yeah.
The good news is we're aware of this stuff already, so we're ahead of the game.
Yeah, we're just ready to hear it.
Yeah. So I don't think it'll affect people that have been watching videos and have an awareness here and nearly like it affects everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Interesting. Could we do like, how do we navigate these emotional fluxes? Right? Because if everybody else is kind of freaking out, some of us do tend to join the team and kind of have a little moment, right? Because it can be fearful.
Yeah.
It's definitely scary stuff, right?
Yeah. And watching other people plummet.
Right? Right?
Yeah. All around you sometimes, especially if you're really sensitive to other people.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't have good boundaries or haven't developed the boundaries, or you just get caught off guard.
Yeah.
You can really absorb everybody else's sort of feelings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So their feelings are a real blessing, and it's wonderful to have them. And it's also the hardest thing you do as a human. So don't do things that
Are feel unsafe.
Yeah, like just a brand new, like you've never gone on a hike at this place before, or you're going on a first date. Might not be a good idea to do things comfortable that you've done before.
Yeah.
That's what I get. Yeah, surrender to, we really are going through a threshold here. Have patience with yourself.
Yes, definitely.
Yep.
Take your time.
Take your time even planning and doing things. And you also might want to limit things to, like, maybe don't plan things you've never done before this particular weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, say you're going on a first date, you might want to wait till the weekend, things settle down a little, right? To meet somebody new or do something out of your comfort zone.
Yep.
Stay comfortable physically in a place that you're feeling comfortable.
Yep.
Right? So if that's home is your big comfort place, or is it in nature, or do you have a favorite nature walk? You might want to make sure you plan that into your day.
Or specific people that make you comfortable.
Yeah.
Things you do, certain activities. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that comfort food. You might want to make your favorite meal this weekend,
Right.
Plan to do something that feels comfortable that you've done before and it isn't like a real stretch.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because it's going to be kind of I think a real mixed bag. I think
totally.
You'll go really high ups and really low lows. So you might find, even if you're normally fairly level, it might be hard to maintain levels here.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of A and B juggling, emotions, situations, people.
Yeah. So having a sense of humor. So what goes along with that? Remember your sense of humor, and remember, if you're watching this video, remember we said that. So when you're feeling like, whoa, and then you got a big dip, just remember, we need detachment, and it's going to be like this.
Yep.
So let's not take this personally. Let's just observe. Oh, we're having that weird emotional dip. Okay.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Instead of like literally diving in with it.
Yep.
Right? Don't take it so personally. Don't take your feelings so personally. I know that sounds weird, but it can be really helpful.
It can be super helpful.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got that Knight of Wands. Okay. So exercise. So moving around,
Getting
and
active
moving your
for
body.
Sure. Yeah.
Sometimes moving your body or taking a nice walk or doing an exercise routine if you do that. Or just literally just a stroll around the block or whatever.
It really is.
Can take your mind off things, right?
Yeah, and connects you back to the world, gets your body moving, because our body is full of energy. And if we're just constantly stagnant, sitting on the couch, sitting in our office,
move around,
doing nothing, we need to get it moving. So definitely. I'm glad that Knight of Wands showed up.
Get the yoga mat out, do some stretches.
Yeah.
Stretch it out.
Yep.
Surrender to, we really are on this threshold.
Right.
So that's the world card I was talking about. Right? Have a look at that card. It's literally like you'll never be back where you were before as a human. And it's only forward into a whole new reality, frankly. And even if it's not super obvious, in the coming days and weeks, you're going to know what we're talking about. Like the whole world's taken a turn here.
Big change.
And there's these moments. There's these moments in everybody's life when that happens. So blessing what's been in the past but being ready and open to new, because you're going to be a whole new level.
Love
it's
it.
like we're leveling up, you guys. And even people that don't know are going to, now they know. They're going to know some stuff in their deep hearts. So don't be surprised in the coming days or weeks if a few people come, over your, the way of the truthers that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
You might get a few funny emails or phone calls or.
Right?
Yeah. People dropping in going, can you tell me about that thing you were trying to tell me last year? Yeah, because it kind of sounds true to me right now. Right? Yeah. Surrender to, we're never going to be, so that sort of bless the threshold we're on. And I've been doing that a lot. I've been revisiting and or going places that I know might not exist in the coming years. Like the kind of shopping that's available.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that sounds frivolous, but I'm just saying there are things that are enjoyable, but we know they're deep state.
Oh, yeah.
Listening to music like Led Zeppelin. Okay, I know they're super deep.
Right?
Okay, but guess what? I'm going to listen to Stairway to Heaven a few more times.
Right? Just to get it out of my system.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't mean we don't, we don't need to say we can't do this. Do you know what I mean? Because to me, that's not being a free person. You can listen to deep state music, but you do need, or dark culture programmed music, but you do need to be aware
of its significance.
Exactly. Yeah. And notice if your emotions plummet or you get really cut off from feelings by listening to it. You might
you're sitting in the low feelings too much.
Right. You might want to switch it up. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as you're being aware. Awareness is a big part of everything, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I've kind of noticed in all the readings, and I'm sure you notice this too, is whenever we channel a larger entity or like ancestors or a greater power, they're almost detached. They do have a sense of humor, but they're more detached. So I was wondering if humans have more emotions, like if we're blessed with all these range of emotions, like if that's part of our superpower almost here on Earth. Yeah. Right?
Right.
Because it's one of the things I have noticed that most of the time when people especially want to connect with somebody who's passed on, they're kind of detached from it.
They are really detached. It's true.
Right?
You're right about that. Yeah. They're detached. Like people will be like, oh, do they forgive me for this and this? And it's like they're always really loving and detached.
Yeah, super loving and detached, and they don't even...
Yeah. They're not attached to those kind of things. Yeah. Their feelings they don't put as much they don't put very much emphasis on feelings at all.
No.
And I think ETs might be the very same.
Oh, for sure.
Like otherworldlies, I think they're also, because the few times I've sort of known for sure, okay, I'm actually channeling an off-worlder. They're very detached as well. In fact, they're very similar to a channeling spirit.
Right. Yeah.
So that's interesting, right, in itself.
The fact that we have more emotions, is this just something we're supposed to learn from? Or is this kind of like a superpower that we have?
Okay. All right.
Right?
Yeah, because we can do a lot with those, but it can also be our sort of kryptonite. In a way, yes, to both those things. It's what's good about us and what's scary about us. Humans. Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's kind of the saying, with great power, because there's great power in emotions.
Yeah.
Comes great responsibility. So we need to learn to be more responsible and conscious of our feelings.
Yeah. And
not just let them run roughshod. Okay, acknowledge we're having a feeling, we're having that feeling, right? But a little more detachment and acknowledgement that we're doing that instead of,
letting it consume us
completely and or plummet us over here
for the whole day, for the whole week.
Right. Yeah. And we all know people that sort of, and we've all been in places where we have been. I remember being sad. Okay. This is hilarious. Okay. In my 20s over some guy, okay, that broke up with me for 5 years.
Whoa.
I lamented about that. Okay, then I met the person 5 years later, and I was like, what did I like about them again? Like I actually got a chance at the thing again, and I just went, that's hilarious. Okay. That's how hilarious emotions are. Like, so I would just dwell in, oh, I lost out on this big relationship I should have been in.
Yeah.
Okay, for 5 years, probably ignored a whole bunch of really good opportunities, frankly. And then met the person again 5 years later and saw within 5 minutes of the meeting that was never meant to be. The universe knows best.
Yeah.
Okay, so really a little detachment and go, okay, I'm having that feeling, but is it real or is this just some drama?
Right.
Right. And make conscious choices about how to feel about things.
And walk through the emotion, walk through all the levels, right?
I'm not saying don't feel it.
But where does the sadness come from? Is it rejection? Is it abandonment? Where did those come from? Is it you? Is it them? Yeah.
Yeah. It's likely your ego didn't get its way.
Hearts don't break.
By the way, hearts don't break. Hearts are really powerful. They don't break. Sometimes, we get ill and our heart's affected, but literally hearts don't break. They're very, very strong. They're a strong muscle. But it's our ego that gets all busted up. Okay. Yeah. That's definitely what happened in that case that I was just telling you about.
Yeah.
Anyway. So it is our power.
Yeah.
It's also our kryptonite. Yeah. So being conscious about it and choosing, a little bit of discernment about it, like a little bit of watching and going, okay, how long do I need to be feeling this?
Yeah.
Right. Like if it's been months and months, you might want to do some exercises on letting it go.
Right.
If you've been having a destructive feeling for months and months. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's okay to have the feelings, but it's not okay to let them consume you
for an excessive amount of time.
Yeah.
Of course, they're always going to come back, like grief.
Yep.
Grief always comes back.
Absolutely.
And you feel it.
Yeah.
And you let it go.
And you let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because you're just really missing somebody.
Yeah. Which is
missing
fair.
that connection. And that's totally, that's a beautiful, it cannot even be beautiful. I always like to connect with that person. If I'm feeling those kind of feelings, like I lost my sister, I like to, I have lots of sisters, but I lost the 1 year older than me. And, I like to go to places that she loved, or when I'm feeling like the loss of her, I like to listen to music she loved to remind me of her and just sort of to honor her.
Yeah.
I also light certain candles to think about her. And of course, she'll always leave a dime around somewhere. So I'll go, touch my dimes that I've collected that are obviously from her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So going places she loved, and even like there's certain, things she liked to wear. So I'll kind of dress like that. Like it sounds kind of weird, but right? So it's a way to express my feelings, and it's healthier than just dwelling in I don't have her anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To phone up or whatever, talk to her, have coffee with. Okay. But I can feel her close in different ways.
Right.
So you got to shift it and work with it.